on Friday. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the pre-show. Thank
Hey,
you for showing
everybody.
up Sunday night, per usual. A few minutes to 7. Um, oh, dude, yeah. I got fucking drunk Friday night. I got hammered drunk, and I bought $200 worth of GI Joes.
Oh,
And then I kind of forgot
yeah.
about it until the next morning when I opened my email. And I was like, oh. And I told my wife, I was like, you remember me buying GI Joes? She's like, yeah, you bought like $200 worth of GI Joes. And I was like, you were okay with this? She's like, yeah. I told you should go do it. And I was like, what? What happened last night? Yeah, it was crazy fun. It was crazy fun. She was
I got
drinking
so
too, but she
drunk,
had
my
not
wife
drank.
was okay. I got so drunk, my wife was okay
Yeah,
with me buying G.I. Joes.
I got a little bonus at work, and she was like, "No, we got money right now. Go blow it. That was
Yeah,
found money." She's like, "If it's found
I,
money, just go have fun." And I was like,
I
"Oh,
got
that's so
a
awesome."
91-cent raise at work.
Ooh, that's nice. That's a changer. That's a game changer in the
I
paycheck,
asked,
man.
I asked, they couldn't afford the extra 9 cents to give me the buck,
Yeah,
but it's
you didn't ask them about that because I'd been like, "Where's that
I
nine
asked,
cents going?"
I asked them
What'd
about
they
the extra
say?
9 cents. It just has to do about how raises are given out because I'm still I'm still an hourly employee. I'm not salary, even though I'm an
Mm,
office employee right now.
yeah,
But I still work on the shop floor, so
weird, stupid rules.
stupid rules.
Got a little thing in my throat. I hope that doesn't impact the show. But yeah, the pre-show we're talking about what we're going to do in the show. I got a really stupid segment one. I watched a movie this week, and then it's just the big two comic book events going on this
Yeah, we
year.
get to talk about Blood Hunt
Yeah, and Absolute Power.
and Absolute
We've
Power.
got a whole lot more to talk about in the context of Blood Hunt, simply because Marvel has put out more information than DC has about their event. But yeah,
I,
there's a lot to Blood Hunt that we're going to talk
I
about.
like what Marvel is doing. They are really hyping it up right now.
Oh yeah, it's really hype. It's like it better be the first issue. Better kick major butt because
Isn't the
it's
first
gonna
issue going to
have
be
to.
coming out of Blade, or is it coming out of Black Panther?
We'll talk about it, but I don't think it's coming out of anything. I don't think there's
Is
going
this
to
going to
be
be a
any
standalone?
prelude. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any sort of prelude books. And then we got a double dose of food news. One kind of gross and one definitely weirdly gross. And then a moment of destruction with Duke number 3, which is pretty good. And
It
oh
was
man, I
pretty
never put
decent.
my books in order. Dang. Dang. All right. I never put my books in my 1, 2, 3 order. So yeah, we're gonna do a top 3 as well. Damn it. Crap. Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right. I don't know where I'm gonna put
Hey,
these.
folks, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
It's not even technical. It's me just being stupid. Me going to laying down after I read all my books this afternoon because again my back hurts. I guess that'll work. Most of my favorite books this week I have retired. Like Wolverine, Ice Cream Man, Phantom Road. I've retired them.
it, yeah, I
So
had to
I
unretire. I had to unretire a book from my top three just to have a top three.
oh wow, really? Well, I hope I've got them all, man, because some stuff I don't
I'm just
grab
this is a little
cover
spoiler
wise.
alert for later on. It's a Ram V book, so
Oh yeah, I don't think I have it. Detective? It can't be Detective. What else did he
no.
have to come out this week? Is he even still on Detective? I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna talk about a bunch of books. So yeah, that's it. I don't know where Taylor is, so it's already 7. Let's do the damn thing. Hold on, let me get a video going. Yeah, kind of not having
Mm-hmm.
video.
No.
I love that so much.
Sit down, drinking a glass of wine, turn this on. No, don't want to watch
Yeah.
this no more.
We'll talk about Star Trek too in top 3 because man, mine was dope. Oh, there's Taylor.
Just like a wizard.
Just like a wizard. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It is another episode of This Geek in Comics Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Talk show.
Oh, Taylor. Gomer Taylor, Andy. Man, I was telling everybody my back hurts, but I bought $200 worth of GI Joes on Friday, like drunk. It was a great time. Anyway, hey, segment 1. What did we do this week? I'll start. I watched Aquaman 2, Lost Kingdom. This is like peak mediocrity. I mean, it was fine and all, whatever. I loved like the brotherly relationship stuff. My big problem with Aquaman 2 was the water physics. It's like y'all can swim. That train that you're fighting on top of and you're trying not to quote unquote fall off the train, that's not possible. You can swim.
I mean,
What are you
they
doing?
could catch up to it, but I could see them falling off. I mean, if the train's still moving faster than they are, you
no,
can run, right? You can run up with the train.
That's what they were
Like-
doing. They were like running on the train while it was underwater, and it's like you could just swim. And why are you not falling off? How can you fall off the train? You can just swim. It's not like, oh no, I
If the train
better not
moves
fall off
faster
this
than they can
train. I'll
swim,
die.
like they'll still lose, still lose,
Yeah.
pace with it or whatever. I don't know. Okay, so in the larger point, though, yes, this movie is stupid as hell. But the
It's
first
so
one was
dumb.
too.
It
But, I
was.
mean,
It was.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Now, I've only seen the first Aquaman. I've not seen Aquaman 2, so I can't comment on Aquaman 2. So.
Well, I would watch it just because it's like, what is going on? It was so weird.
It's like it's like an enjoyable version of like what came out like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like those types of superhero movies.
Like
where they weren't
Fantastic Four and stuff.
Yeah, like they're not taking themselves very seriously. It's very silly, but
Yeah, that's the feeling I got from the first Aquaman movie.
It's
just more
campy and fun.
Yeah, it's just camp fun.
Well, I didn't. The physics is what bothered me. I was like, why is she jumping on this train afraid to fall off? It's an she can swim faster than the train can go.
I don't know, man.
What'd y'all do this week? Anything cool?
I went to go see Dune Part 2.
Oh, I didn't even grab a thing for that. Yeah, I forgot all about Dune. Some people are saying it's one of the best movies they've ever seen.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was
blowing
good.
people away.
It was really good. As far as like, the spectacle, like this is the type of movie you want to see on a big screen. Like, it's a real feast for the eyes. That being said, they are having to really cut down on a book that is dense as shit. This thing is denser than uranium.
Do that. I mean, even Lord of the Rings.
Sure. Well, Lord of the Rings did a good job cutting out a bunch of frivolous bullshit, but like
Dune doesn't have much frivolousness.
Yeah.
When your first three chapters in Dune are basically the backstory of what's going on, it's hard to cut that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so it did feel as though we didn't have a lot of the like character, like it didn't seem like there was a lot of like human connection, like to go through the movie. Like this happened now. Honestly, it could have used a training montage or two. Like which I think
take a page from Rocky.
I understand why they didn't do it because it probably would have gone with the tone, but like narratively it could have benefited because like towards the beginning of the movie it's like, Paul, you're so bad at surviving in the desert. And then like, the next scene, Paul is a fucking expert at surviving in the desert.
Oh, and you know what? The trailer kind of makes it look like they do have a training montage. Because now that you say that,
like, they
Zendaya
include everything that is like absolutely necessary to like, this is what Paul's doing now. This is what his mom is doing now. This is what the Harknesses are doing now, but it just everything about the movie has like this amazing spectacle and like, scope to it, but it does seem like the human interaction part of it is a little underbaked. Not bad, just I wish it had more,
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the like, Shy. We appreciate it. But yeah, I'll probably wait on
I'm
that
sounding
one.
more down on it than I should. I did like it. I think you should.
I know you are sounding really down on it, but again, I have heard that it's.
I guess I'm pushing back against the best thing I've ever seen because it is not that.
Okay, good.
But it's good.
Yeah, I have heard that a lot of people have seen it. But yeah, I guess I'll wait for it to stream, man.
I guess if the expectation is like it's like the fucking second coming, it's not that.
Okay, good.
It is far down from like my favorite movies I've ever seen. But I did enjoy it a lot, and I would recommend.
And you said you should see it on like a really big screen. That's like
like
of it. Yeah.
Well, didn't they specifically make these Dune movies to be just IMAX?
Oh yeah, film for IMAX.
Well, maybe that's something I should bring up because I did not see it in IMAX. I just saw it on like the thing I could go see for free. So there's that. Or the thing that I have the sunk cost for, I should say, with like the unlimited pass that I got.
Yeah, you have an unlimited pass, but you have an option to go to IMAX if you want. It's just going to cost you more.
Then I have
cherry
to pay
window.
money. I'm not doing that. Bullshit.
Yeah, right. I got a season pass to the
Hey,
movies.
come on, he's a teacher. He's allowed to do
Yeah.
whatever he wants.
That's right, dude. They should have free movies. Andy, what you do this week? Anything cool?
So finished up Super Mario Wonder, and now we're just going back through, and I'm just letting Harrison just goof off on the levels and do whatever he wants.
Fun.
And then
fun.
I watched I watched a movie that I'm not going to talk about right now because that's later on when I celebrate my 2-year anniversary. So it's a surprise for later for me doing it on the group page.
Oh, sweet.
So I watched one of the many films in that. So there's a lot of them. I didn't realize how many there was until I looked it up.
Is it a horror movie? I know you like doing all those.
It's a horror movie
Okay,
It's a
it
horror
is.
movie franchise, and yeah, there's a lot of them. I didn't realize that there was 15.
You fool.
15.
And I am in a huge rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
Right?
But I also
Awesome.
watched 13 Sins with crap, I just forgot his name.
Yeah, I
But that was a
heard
pretty good movie. It's about
You're figuring the name of an actor, right? Not like a friend that you went to go see it with.
no, it's an
That'd be
actor.
really shitty of you. Okay.
Whoever the fuck played Hellboy?
Oh, Ron Perlman?
Ron
Oh,
Perlman,
yeah.
thank you. It slipped my mind.
It slipped my mind too when you said Hellboy. It's like, oh, I know. Well, I know
Ron
that in
Perlman.
a minute.
I
but
judge you pretty harshly if you said the Hellboy guy and you meant like David Harbour and not.
No, I
Ron
don't mean
Perlman.
him.
yeah.
I like David Harbour, but Ron
And I like
Perlman
that
is
Hellboy, but
you
you're
know?
right.
I'm not
the
talking about
Hellboy.
Sheriff Stranger Things. I'm talking about Hellboy.
Right.
Man, if I was trying to talk about David Harbour right now, I'd say like Kick-Ass
The
Santa
thing.
Claus. Yeah.
Yeah, Kick-Ass
that
Santa Claus. Yeah, it's a little
thing.
bit better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
love
watched
that
13
movie.
Sins. That was actually a pretty decent film. So
Well, what is it?
So it's about this guy who is down on his luck. He just got fired from his job. His brother is got some mental downsides to him and doesn't want to go back to his home. His dad's a piece of shit. His fiance is pregnant, and then he's got no job, and it's like, I have no money. And then a group of rich people just decide to be like, hey, we'll give you money if you do these sort of things, and then it gets out of control. Really.
Oh, is it with the dude from New Girl?
I'm not
Was
sure
he
if
in
he's
that too? I think there's like a show about that now. Where like rich people hire poor people to do things.
No, I don't know.
But they're not hunting him.
They're not hunting him. They're just like paying him to do stuff.
Like what? Give me an example. Like one thing.
So
because it's 13
like
things, obviously.
So 13 different things. It's like the first thing was like kill a fly. Then the second thing was eat the fly, and then like the third thing was like make a child cry, and then this gets more and more insane from there.
What does it escalate to? Because we're starting pretty small here.
Yeah, we're starting very tiny.
Spoiler alerts for this movie. Spoilers for there's a scene where he totally cuts off like an arm of his bully.
He cuts off a dude's arm.
He cuts off a dude's arm, and then later on, this is the very end of the film, you find out that Ron Perlman's actually working for the entity that is making him do this. His brother has been also on the opposite end, being the other player in the game, and their final task is to kill somebody, and they go to kill their piece of shit father, but then his piece of shit father just goes, "Oh, BTWs, I used to play the game," and then offs himself.
Oh, so it's one of those weird M. Night Shyamalan endings where you're like, what?
It's like when they pulled up to like the retirement home that their dad's in, I just went, oh, it's his brother. And then the scene where they're like literally fighting over each other to see who wins the like $60 million or something like that is just like, and this brother who's like the one who's got the mental ability is just like, I just want to win, and just like stabbing him. It's like that was heartbreaking.
Nice.
It was. I was just like, oh man,
I'm gonna watch it.
It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Tubi.
Right now. Tubi. Yep.
Tubi got all the old G.I. Joe and Transformers too. That's usually why I watch it. All right, let's do news. Just gonna be events. All we're talking about is the Marvel and DC big blockbuster events that are happening, and we start with Absolute Power. Now we don't have a lot on this. Why? Because it's really giving us a lot, despite Marvel giving us basically everything about Blood Hunt. But throughout Dawn of DC, Amanda Waller's combination of ruthlessness and dangerous alliances has placed her on the precipice of fulfilling her pledge, the elimination of all metahuman abilities planet-wide. So she does it. going to be Mark Waid and Dan Mora writing it. It's a 4-issue series starting July 2nd, and it shows how Waller will use the strategic and military might of Failsafe. Remember Failsafe?
Oh yeah,
that's a callback.
Technology of the Brainiac Queen. Remember the Brainiac Queen? We talked about her.
Actually, no.
But she's going to be in this Superman thing that's happening.
Okay.
And we talked about that a few weeks ago, where all the Superman books are having this big sort of thing, and they're going to use them together, right, to steal all metahuman abilities from every superhero and supervillain around the globe. Around the globe.
Well,
and
I know
the
that
Trinity are going to team up to take her down.
Yeah. I mean, Amanda Waller's just a giant turd in a bowl of
she's
turd.
Betsy Badass, though.
Yeah,
you know?
But she's also badass too. And I could see her just like basically going like because she's like sick and tired of it at this point. She's sick and tired of metahumans and just like she's just like probably just like middle finger, just like fuck you all. I'm just taking all your powers, so I don't have to deal with this.
I mean, it's inherently stupid because what is she taking the metahuman powers from everyone in the fucking universe? What the hell is she gonna do when Darkseid shows up? You know?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, maybe she thinks Failsafe and Brainiac Queen here are good enough to take down Darkseid. But yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, that's the intrinsic flaw of the control freak, right? Is they cannot foresee something that is going to be outside their control.
Exactly. But, you know, she did take down that big Starro, you know, the Conqueror that Beast Boy turned into pretty ruthlessly. Again, that's her whole deal, is being ruthless.
Oh, yeah, she's ruthless.
I mean, that's a great cover there, right? But there's going to be a free comic book day issue on May 4th. And, yeah, there are a bunch of tie-ins, okay? But we do get a couple of preview pages. Like, I don't know what's in this dude's gun, but he ends up shooting Superman. You know, he's bleeding.
He makes Superman bleed.
And then he's fallen. So, I mean, maybe that's the moment where they're able to take away the powers. And then Batman becomes the greatest.
And I bet he wishes that, like, the power to fly had gone away before the invulnerability.
Right. But all right, there's also a lot of tie-ins again. In June,
who's the creative team here?
Oh, it's Mark Waid and Dan Mora.
Oh, cool.
On the main book. But then May 4th, of course, Free Comic Book Day, and then in June, to be announced. They don't have any dates for any of these really. We're going to get Absolute Power Ground Zero, which is sort of, you know, your prelude book. And then July 2nd, they jump right into it with Absolute Power #1. We don't have any covers for any of these. All we have is the Free Comic Book Day, the issue #1 cover, and then these 3 preview pages. And I'm assuming these are from the Free Comic Book Day book, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm going to assume.
Yeah. But it's going to get a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are tying in with just the issues. I can only assume that the creative teams who are on those books now will stay on those books throughout this thing.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty safe guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, this sounds pretty cool. They've done a good job building this up. Like Amanda Waller has been showing up, in like every damn book right now. You know, she's a big in the Titans book. The last event was she had her as like the main antagonist, more or less. She's showing up in the Green Arrow book.
Oh, and we'll talk about that later for sure.
They're bringing in Failsafe from Zdarsky's Batman.
That's a big deal for me. They're bringing in the Brainiac Queen from the Superman book. They're going to tie this all together into Wonder Woman's current status quo, where she is, you know, a villain. You know, the country is out to get her. You know,
she's only a villain because the president king of America says she is.
I know, but I think that's like kind of what Waller's up to too. You know, she's just saying, no, I want it done this way, and I have the power to do it, and she's doing it. And I really like that. That's like the whole overarching thing here, absolute power. Yeah. You know, I just really love how DC is sort of, I mean, that's the best thing about this event and why I think this event is actually going to be better than Blood Hunt, even though we don't have as much information on it now as we do about Blood Hunt. Absolute Power feels like it's coming out straight out of Dawn of DC, that it's like a fulfillment of everything that they've been doing up to this point. And that's why I read shared universes. You know what I mean? I want to be able to see the things happen in this book and mean something else in another book. Right now at Marvel, it doesn't feel like that's happening.
DC has done a really good job of being this extremely close-knit shared universe.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want it to go like to the extreme to the other end where like the event is the entire fucking comics line.
Like they've made that mistake.
They already did.
They did that last year. But this is the way you want them to do it. They're pulling in stuff that I'm assuming they probably didn't have as some like big tapestry like running for a few years now. Like I don't think Zdarsky and Tom Taylor and all them were like, and now we shall insert this part of the plan for absolute no. But no, they're taking those elements. They're taking maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but either way, they're picking up these threads that have kind of organically arisen independently of each other and weaving them together, and that's great.
I think that's more likely. That was exactly that. They didn't have a plan.
That's the best way to write.
Was like, and the same thing with Tom King. Everything that Tom Taylor. Everything that Tom Taylor has done in Nightwing and Titans was leading into an event that he knew he was getting, Beast World. Yeah, and it's like, well, we can take that and also tie it into what we like all the editor meetings. We know what he's doing here. We know what the Superman book is doing. Why don't we do this too? And then Mark Waid in the back raises his hand and be like, I can do that, because they invite him to the
I could see Mark Waid doing that. He's like, I got it. I'm good.
I mean, Mark Waid is like the person you want writing these big like let's bring all the big characters together and have them do shit because
because he's got the experience and he gets these characters.
He has done it before. Everybody. Yeah.
But we're also.
All that being said, though, I do think it is a little. It sucks for the Titans, right? Because they're like, no, it's our time to step up and to lead and to fight for the world our way. But then, in this event, Titans, step the fuck aside. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are handling this.
And sure,
Superman doesn't even have powers, and he's handling this. That's how little,
Right. I mean, that might be part of it, but I mean, my guess here.
It's too early to say that for sure, but they are billing this as a Trinity event, so
Oh, they definitely are. And there are the only tie-ins they have announced.
It just takes some of the mustard out of. It just takes some of the mustard out of the Titans big moment here, for no, this is something that we cannot trust fucking Titans,
Yeah, it might just go the other way where it's just maybe they might need the Titans' help to build them up a little, build up the Titans a little bit more. We I
don't know. That's not even going to be a deal breaker for me. It's just it is kind of running counter to everything we've been seeing in the Titans book, right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, when you take away meta powers, right? What does that involve? Does Cyborg go down?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's one of those things where what. Obviously, Batman would be fine. So would Green Arrow. Wonder Woman's still a deadly combatant. Oh, but would Wonder Woman? If you take away Wonder Woman's meta powers, would you just age to dust on the spot? I mean, obviously not, since she's in this book. But
I mean, I don't know exactly. I'm not entirely sure. All right. Does Wonder Woman even have meta powers, or is I don't understand
Wonder
how
Woman
Superman
doesn't have meta powers.
He's just a Kryptonian.
She's a goddess.
Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, it affected Superman, and he gets his powers from just his biology.
Yeah, and if people have powers from magical items, is that still
maybe they'll address it in the book, but it does seem like one of those things you just kind of have to accept the premise. Because
I definitely
the logistics of a single act taking away the powers of all these people who get their powers from completely separate sources, But I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. So again, like we said, there's a Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman tie-in issue. Looks like 3 issues. The overall event itself is only 4 issues, which is really easy in and out. Okay. But they're also doing a book called Absolute Power Origins. There's 3 issues of that. But I think the most compelling book that's coming out, and again, we don't have any fucking covers for these, no creative teams. We have no idea when they're coming out. All we know is when the Free Comic Book Day book is coming out, the Prelude issue, and the first issue of the event itself. But they're also doing a book called Absolute Power Task Force 7. Now, I don't know if this is a Waller thing. It definitely sounds like a Waller thing, but I don't know why she would call it Task Force 7. All right? Task Force 7, to me, feels like it's going to be a Justice League. Right? Isn't 7 sort of a typical number?
Yeah, I mean, we usually talk about the Justice League having the quote unquote big 7. So yeah,
exactly.
that's what it makes me think of. Yeah.
Yeah, because Green Lantern, they have no meta powers. Their powers come from an object.
That's true. So what about people who don't have any actual powers, who just have items of power? Do they get the powers?
Aquaman doesn't have a power any more than me being able to jump is a power. You know what I mean? He can he's an Atlantean. He just
I think we're
happens
just
to be
gonna
able
have to
take these
accept the
things.
premise, like.
Well, I'm
maybe,
anxious to see how they pull it off.
We're gonna have
the
to see
ones
where
that
it's
should-
just like
at a base level, someone like the Flash it should work on, who's like a normal ass human who got like changed somehow, but like
Yes.
someone like Superman, where like this is just what he is,
Yeah, it just
and it
seems
somehow
weird
works on
to
him.
me, but
So
it worked on him. That was the first
Yeah.
thing they showed here, is that it does work on him. So.
yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll have more on that when we get the books. But now we're going on the Blood Hunt, and there's a lot here. So, announced in October at New York Comic Con, the next crossover event launches in May. It's going to be Jed McKay, Pepe Larraz. I'm in there for Pepe, and Who Will Bite It? Right, that's what the big thing is. Who will bite it? All right, here's a free comic book day issue again, and this is how Marvel, sort of teased it. Hey, look, these are all the books that we're getting. And then, bam, they filled them all up.
yeah, they did.
Yeah, and they're really getting into the promotion for this, okay? They're going to do trading cards. They're going to do an inappropriate audience book, like a rated R version of the first issue. It's just wild, dude.
I think that's going to probably be a big seller.
Oh, I think so too. It's
Are they
going to come
actually
in like a
changing the
poly
content
bag.
of the issue, or is this just like a variant, for fun?
I think it's going to be like more blood in there and shit.
Yeah, it's going to be rated. It's going to be rated M for mature. It's not going to be PG-13.
Yeah. But yeah, they're going to have two versions of that. And then here's all the tie-ins. All right, there's 8 tie-ins. Black Panther, Blood Hunt, Cheryl Lynn Eaton, and Fareed Karami. Okay, he gets turned into a vampire, basically. And then he's got to deal with that shit. All right, 3-issue miniseries. And then we get Amazing Spider-Man. It's Justina Ireland, Marcello Ferreira, and he's teaming up with Misty Knight and the Lizard to rescue Morbius from the vampires. Morbius may be the only one who can save the world from the vampires. All right, Dracula, Blood Hunt, 3-issue, Danny Lore, Vincenzo Carutu. Lord of the Vampires teams up with Blade's daughter, Bloodline. There you go.
Okay.
All right, then we get this. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. I kind of like Bloodline. She's a unique character. She's not very well known. She had a miniseries and she was in a couple of issues of stuff, but yeah, not very well known.
It's good to see her be at the kind of forefront of this.
She definitely should be. Yeah, she fits perfectly.
She's right there on the cover of Dracula. So I mean, her being at the forefront of this event in one of the 3-issue miniseries for it is.
Yeah, this could be a big chance for her to up her profile for sure.
Yeah. All right, so now we got this Blood Hunters. Now this is going to be sort of your anthology, right? It's going to have a Hawkeye story in it from Mark Russell and Bob Quinn. That Hawkeye story, just Mark Russell writing Marvel, might be worth getting, Man Wolf and J. Jonah Jameson do a little father-son bonding in the first issue. That's Christus Gage and Javier Garron. And then Cloak is missing in action. Dagger strikes out in search of new and surprising allies.
When did Jameson's son become a werewolf? What?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's been a minute.
I missed that.
You've been out of that loop.
Yeah.
Erica Schultz and Bernard Chang.
I don't remember when John became a werewolf, but it's been a while.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in that Blood Hunters book. I don't know. I'm not a fan of those kind of books. You know what I mean? But maybe in the context of it sharing the event, it might be pretty good. But we'll see. All right, this is the most compelling one to me. Very intriguing. Union Jack the Ripper, Blood Hunt, 3-issue tie-in from Kevin Scott and Kev Walker. That's a great creative team, dude.
Good to see Union Jack back.
Dude, again, that's right in my notes. That's the one thing about this that I really, really like, but it's a Union Jack story like you've never seen. The iconic British hero armors up, grabs his Webley pistol, liberates a medieval longsword, and then straps on some grenades, heads out to slaughter the blood-sucking masses. Dude, that looks, it said it would make Punisher envious. So I really hope they're going there with the whole, blood and gore and adult rating.
I mean, especially with Kev Walker doing the art, he'd do really good with that sort of thing.
Exactly.
I hope definitely... if that's true, I hope all the Union Jack the Ripper ones are mature ratings then.
Right.
This definitely seems like something where they came up with like a silly pun name and just decided to go ahead and run with it.
It's either that or like they were like, oh man, I really want to do a story, with Union Jack, or who's got ideas,
Or
and
I
then they're
wanted to
just
make a story about
spitballing
Jack the
ideas.
Ripper. Do we have any characters with Jack in their name?
Yeah, right. All right, Midnight Suns, Blood Hunt. This is written by Brian Hill, who's currently doing the Blade book, drawn by Germaine Peralta. 3 issues. Again, all of these are 3 issues except for Blood Hunters, which is 4. Well, Wolverine might be 4 as well. It's Blade, Danny Ketch, Johnny Blaze, Victoria Montesi, and more. The iconic team's critical mission will involve more than just slaughtering through the vampire invasion. They'll also be forced to tragically spill the blood of one of their own. Yeah, that looks. That looks.
This is where we're gonna
Is
get
it Ghost Rider spilling Blade's blood? Because that's what the cover makes it look
yeah,
like.
I know, right?
this is where we're gonna get the guaranteed death of a Marvel superhero or a Marvel supervillain. This is the book that's probably in.
It's Blade's event, so I don't think Blade's going to die in this book.
Yeah, I hope it's not Blade.
He's going to be in the main book, surely. But that being said, though, Blade would not stand a fucking chance against Ghost Rider.
No, one stare, penance stare. Are you kidding me? Blade's so full of guilt. He's like Daredevil.
Ghost Rider, honestly, is just OP as shit.
He really is. He really is.
Yeah, when you can take down the Galactus with a penance stare, you're kind of OP.
Yeah, no shit. All right, Strange Academy, Blood Hunt, also 3 issues. 3 issues. Daniel Jose Older, Luigi Sagaria, and it's just they're getting the Darkhold. They're trying to get the Darkhold to fight off the Blood Hunt, the fucking vampires. And then Wolverine. It's a 4-issue series.
Yeah, Wolverine was definitely going to be in this event.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Wolverine already was fucking around with vampires. It's been a couple of years, but
dude, that's exactly what it says in my fucking notes. You guys are so on it. This is actually written by Tom Waltz. This is going to be a big book. The Marvel debut of Tom Waltz, who did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. Okay.
Yep.
So that dude knows what he's fucking doing, especially with characters that people know. Juan Jose Rip is going to be doing the art.
Hell yeah.
Oh, all right. This is going to be the most popular book of all the tie-ins, dude. It's going to be so hot. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. All right. But it says, in addition to spinning directly out of Blood Hunt, Wolverine's blood-soaked battles will also conclude Logan's private war against the Vampire Nation, a storyline that's been heating up over the last few years in the pages of Ben Percy's epic Wolverine run. Good on Ben Percy to say, man, I have sewn so many fucking threads in this Wolverine book. I need someone else to help me with the damn Wolverine shit. So yeah, there's these are limited series that are debuting and ending as part of the event, but these 6 books will be series tie-ins. Is that right? I wonder if I missed it. 7, 8, 9. Oh, I guess I don't have them. Anyway, it's Amazing Spider-Man 49, Avengers 14, 15, 16, Doctor Strange 15, 16, 17, Fantastic Four 21 and 22, Miles Morales 21, 22, Moon Knight 5 through 7, and Venom 33 and 34, all written by their current writers. And I think all the creative teams are going to be okay for that too. But I don't know about that one. Avengers is going to be hot because it's Jed McKay, who's also writing the event. Amazing Spider-Man only being 1 issue and him also having a 3-issue tie-in is weak. It's weak sauce. The Miles Morales book might be okay because Miles just has so much fun. If it's like a big, huge event and he's there, it just makes the event better for me. Venom I could give a shit about. Moon Knight I could give a shit about. But the Doctor Strange book that I have not been reading sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Dealing with vampires. But, man, that Fantastic Four, Ryan North writing a 2-issue Fantastic Four story with these vampires, that sounds dope. Yeah. I don't care what he does. He's getting to do vampires now.
I mean, all these books that I was already reading, I'll definitely stick on them. So that's Avengers, that's Fantastic Four, that's Hulk, that's I guess this Wolverine is like an offshoot thing, but I'm still
Wolverine is its own standalone issue. But I think 50 will be out. The run will probably be over by then.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Or Ben Percy will be on it to the next thing. Yeah. All right. So then we have 6 one-shots. Hulk Blood Hunt. That's Philip Kennedy Johnson. And Neil, there is no Hulk series tie-in. There is no Hulk series tie-in. I think you might have misspoke.
I'm not surprised about where.
Or I did.
I'm sorry.
There.
Oh yeah, or I did.
I just saw the picture image up there. I guess I just.
Oh yeah. No, this is the one shots, but this is also by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Danny Earls. Werewolf by Night, Jason Liu, and Adam.
It ties perfectly in with what Hulk is doing right now, which is going around.
Dude,
just like
it so does. Yeah, it so does.
Hulk smash monsters.
Yeah, Hulk. Yeah, it really does. Laura Kinney, the Wolverine, Stephanie Phillips and Robert Gill, Psylocke by Steve Fox and Lynn Yoshi, Magic by Ashley Allen and Jesus Hervas, and Jubilee #1 by Preeti Cheeber and Enad Balam. Yes,
correct me if I'm wrong. Jubilee's dead right now, right?
Yes, she is, but she was also a vampire at one point.
Oh, that's true. She is perfect.
That too.
It absolutely makes sense to pull her in if she hadn't been killed by Nimrod, which she was.
Oh yeah.
I guess these are spoilers for the end of the X stuff then.
Yeah, I mean, surely they're.
Or maybe this is that like alternate dimension Jubilee who's like hanging out with like that Exiles team. Maybe. Wait, is she part of that Dead X-Men book? I haven't.
She's part of the Dead X-Men book.
I think she's in. Yeah, she's in the Dead X-Men book.
Maybe that's her. I don't know.
She's the quote unquote leader of the Dead X-Men right now.
Yeah. So here you go. Here's your, and it looks kind of like they're putting the Avengers in the forefront, at least of this,
whatever.
I don't think that a vampire would ever be able to get over on Vision. I'm sorry. I don't.
That's still kind of cool though.
It's a cool image. Well, like Vision is a character you can like maim and dismember, and it not actually have any lasting consequences. So I'm sure artists are eager to do that. It's like with Wolverine, right? Like you can come in and have a bad guy just wreck him.
It happened this week.
Bloody chunks, and he'll be
happened this week.
Yeah,
or last month. But it happened.
There are characters who like give the opportunity to do like brutal images, and less than Wolverine, but Vision is one of those. Yeah.
And I have another problem. I have a couple of problems with this event. Okay, another thing, and just looking at this image, like if they're actually trying to murder all of these vampires, Thor could just murder them all from a distance, and they'd all be dead.
I mean, that's one of the things.
Them all. They would die. Lightning is like bright as the sun. Now, isn't that going to melt them? I don't know.
Now, I'm sure that like if it's big enough numbers and everything, like even someone like Thor would have trouble like at least saving everyone. But there is a bit of a disconnect here with like there are several characters on this page who are ridiculously powerful and should not have trouble with vampires.
Exactly.
I agree.
Thor's 100%. One of them. Doctor Strange is one of them. And
is that like Tony Stark getting bit on the neck, wearing the Mysterium suit? I mean, what the? Tigra is in here. You see Tigra Center.
Now Tigra probably couldn't beat a vampire.
Oh, she couldn't do shit against a vampire. Why is she even on this team?
But you're right about Vision. He could just phase through these motherfuckers. They couldn't do anything about it.
I think it's more of the horde mentality. Is just that there's just too many of them,
and it's kind of like we were talking about with like the. Whatever it was we were talking about before, right? Sometimes you just got to accept the premise. We were talking about like all the humans being like all the metahumans being depowered. You kind of have to come in like, okay, I am accepting that this is a threat, and that's something you have to do a lot when you read comics anyway.
You're not wrong.
The disbelief. You just have to suspend.
Yeah, like is this a problem that Superman should have any trouble with? Probably not. Is this a problem that the Flash couldn't handle in a second? No, probably not. But you accept it because it's part of the premise.
And I agree. You have to suspend that disbelief. That's part of it. But I'm also wondering, like, if the plan of the Vampire Nation is to like turn everybody in the world into a vampire, or if that's what they do. Man, obviously that's not the plan. That's to succeed. They win. They do that. You can't kill everybody. I mean, what is Mary Jane going to turn into a vampire? You know what I'm saying? We know T'Challa is.
I mean, not. We know, of course, they're not all going to turn into a vampire long term. So,
but how are they going to reverse it? I mean, that's
they will.
Part of the thing.
They got some Deus Ex Machina sitting around, just going like, "And you're cured."
I'm just saying we don't know enough.
They find some way to like hit the I win button, and everything goes back to normal.
Exactly.
And that might sound a little cynical to say, but honestly, it would not be. They can't have everyone in the world be a vampire. So yes, they are going to have to reset this shit.
Yeah.
Between Wanda and Strange, they could figure out something to be like, okay, and this just didn't happen.
Exactly right. All right. So last thing I'll say about both these events, and I said the greatest thing ever about Absolute Power because it feels like it's a just organic sort of offshoot of everything that's been happening over in DC with their shared continuity. At Marvel, no. Okay, yes, Wolverine had some vampire shit go down.
Well,
Blade had some vampire shit go down, but they never built on it enough for this event to feel like it's organic from those
They did
stories.
a good job picking good books to tie into this. Like, it does make sense to pull in Wolverine for a story because, you had that bullshit with the vampires a few years ago. It makes sense to pull in Jubilee. She was a vampire for a while.
Exactly.
Or maybe she still is. I don't know.
I
But
don't think so.
that being said, if you aren't reading the Blade book specifically, I don't know that this is something that's been built up to anywhere else.
Yeah, this is probably only in the Blade book right now.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, I'm sure it'll still be fun. I'm definitely looking forward to like some Pepe Larraz's artwork. But you are right that it does seem like the DC event has been built up to organically, and that is a huge asset for them. And this does lack that.
Yeah, 100% agree with that, dude. But cool. Yeah, we'll have more on all of that shit, all of those Blood Hunt books as they drop. Because I'm reading it. I'm reading both of them. I'm sold at least on the first issue of Blood Hunt, and at least 3 or 4 of the tie-ins. But I am 100% in on Absolute Power. I'm already reading the 3 big books that are tying in: the Batman, the Superman, the Wonder Woman. And what, I got to pick up a few other books? Hell yeah, I'm in. And it's only like 4 months. Oh my, fuck yes. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Plus, it's building off of everything that they've already had. But Blood Hunt, I'm definitely going to give, at least a shot. So, what do you guys? You're going to read? Well, yeah, you said you're going to read Pepe Larraz, but what about Absolute Power? Are you in on that?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to read that. That looks fun. I mean, it's got Mark Waid, and it's got that artwork that you shared. Dan Moore's artwork with the Superman thing. That looked gorgeous.
Oh, look amazing.
Mark Waid writing is definitely the easy buy-in there.
Yeah.
And
100.
I mean, Blood Hunt, I'll probably take a glancing pass at it. I mean, and it seems like I mean, with everything that's going on in Blood Hunt, it seems to be a little bit more lethargic to go through than Absolute Power. Absolute Power is going to be short, sweet, done in like 4 months.
And it doesn't feel like, I mean, they're not doing many tie-ins. It's 3 or 4 months too, I think, for the Blood Hunt, but it's just,
it just seems
I'm not invested right now. Okay, reading Beast World, knowing who Failsafe is, really reading the build-up in Superman to the Brainiac Queen. I'm like, okay, seeing what Waller is doing, I'm invested. I have to fucking know how Absolute Power turns out.
This is just
Blood
based
Hunt,
on
I'm like, meh.
Just based upon the covers that Marvel put out. I mean, besides the Black Panther book, and the main series Blood Hunt books, I don't think there's going to be much there besides maybe Wolverine and Dracula and probably Midnight Suns.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll talk about them. Cool. 2 big events. Let's do food news.
Yummy.
All right. I got a middle of the road shit one and a real shit one. Dr. Pepper Peeps are back.
Peeps.
Oh, God. They did this with a stupid Pepsi last year, didn't they?
Yeah. So you can get $1.25 and $1.79 for a 5 count.
Now, I will say that having the soda flavor on the Peeps is better than having the Peeps flavor in the soda, which is the other thing they did last year.
They did that. That was just weird.
It was not
and wrong.
good either. It was not good either. So
if I had to pick one, I'd pick this. But that being said, I have no desire to eat Peeps in the first place, and this is not changing that opinion.
Absolutely right. This is the lesser of 2 evils when it comes to how to intake your soda with Peeps. It's on the Peeps.
Yeah, get your ass out there, get some Peeps. They're gross. All right, finally, in food news, New Lay's and IHOP, they get together for a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity potato chip.
Okay.
I
like potato chips. I wouldn't mind eating the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity pancakes. Why the fuck would you put these together?
I have no idea.
This is potato chips with the Rudy Tooty flavor that IHOP
So does that mean this tastes like fruit? Like, where does the pancake come in? Like,
it features sweet notes of strawberries and maple syrup and a subtle touch of bacon for a savory balance.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Yes, they've done.
I do. This is disgusting.
okay, they've done bacon.
You don't need
flavor.
a breakfast potato chip. Although all potato chips are breakfast potato chips if you try hard enough. If your decisions are bad enough, they are.
If you're lazy enough, you can have potato chips for breakfast. Sure.
I will play devil's advocate here just a little bit. They have made bacon flavored potato chips, and
that's fine. Sure,
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's good.
Oh,
but if you're gonna do pancake strawberry syrup and bacon potato chips, it's a potato chip. You're just adding too much to it at the point.
Yeah, like I feel like their reach is exceeding their grasp on this one because like
Yeah,
bacon on a potato chip is fine. Honestly, the maple one's kind of weird, but I could kind of see it. I don't think I'd eat a strawberry potato flavored chip, but I certainly don't want all of them together on a potato chip.
This is gonna be like one of those things you just take a bite and be like, why did I buy this for?
Yeah, why did I buy this? A limited time at Walmart stores. So if I find
I'm glad I don't go to Walmart then.
Yeah, if I find them, I'll grab them and eat some.
I will say, like, I don't think this would be revolting. Just like I don't think it would be very good.
No, it would not be good. I don't think it would be good at all.
All right, I'd rather eat the Dr. Pepper Peeps than.
Oh yeah, me too. Than the chips, but I'm gonna try to find those chips. All right, let's do Duke. Oh my God. Number 3, Joshua Williamson, Jordy Belair. We've been ignoring something really cool about this series. Shit, let me find it. Here it is. They were doing these cool connecting covers. They're still real.
That didn't even occur to me. Wow.
Yeah, that's rad, and we've been ignoring it. Talking about it.
Yeah, it's a cool montage of the series there too.
Yeah. Yeah, Jordy, or pardon me, it's Tyler Boss and Jason Wordy have been doing that. But Duke number 2, Destro finds himself needing to relocate, and there's Major Blood. Now, I immediately, as a longtime G.I. Joe fan, immediately were like, well, no, he missing the eye patch. He missing the eye patch, right?
But this is still going into the prelude of everything that's going to be probably going into
I love
the
how
shared
they
universe.
did that. Yeah, I love how they did that. So Destro needs to get all of his stuff relocated because this thing that Duke got from Dr. Burkhart reveals her past work, which includes weapons Destro has stored at this Mars facility, right? So he wants Major Blood to go murder that motherfucker. I love this, how Rock and Roll and Stalker are kind of pissed off that they had to lock up Duke. I loved that moment.
They technically didn't have a choice in the matter.
Oh, they're soldiers. They got to do what they got to do.
They had to follow orders.
Yeah,
they had no choice. They had to lock up Duke. They're told you have to do this. They're like, but I don't want to. Duke's our best friend.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's bringing up a lot of what maybe G.I. Joe is going to be in this universe.
Yeah,
it's going to be more people that do the right thing.
More of a rogue organization,
like the A-Team kind of. Yeah.
A-Team.
Yeah. So then we meet the Baroness full on. We get a lot of information there, and we get Stalker just getting owned by Blood, just attacking the hell out of him. I love this. This is like the Cobra baby, in action. The birth of Cobra doing their thing. And then Blood, puts it to Duke, just puts the hammer in on him. And then there it is. There's where he gets the eye, And then we got Baroness, presumably, doing what she does or takes care of number 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love this. Just action-packed fucking fun here. I'm having the best time with this shit. There's really not much else to say. You do get a lot of story. But it's the cameos and it's all that action, Anybody else?
Well, yeah. I mean, of the two, this is the one that I'm not the guy who's like deep in the G.I. Joe lore. Like, I don't recognize half of these characters at first glance. I recognize Duke, I recognize Baroness, I recognize Hawk, but this is
Destro,
still
Destro.
I know Destro.
He's not
I know
really
Destro.
on panel.
Yeah. I know Destro. I definitely have heard the name Major Blood. I probably could. Like when you said the eye patch thing, I'm like, oh yeah, he did used to have an eye patch.
In the 80 series and the movie, he did have an eye patch. So
yeah.
But that being said, I'm still enjoying this one a lot. Like, this is very accessible for people who are not already integrated into the G.I. Joe lore. It's a fun, well-written comic, even without like the, oh, I recognize them, type of nostalgia bait.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Captain Rock and Roll and Stalker are just like, hey, we're buddies.
Oh, they get their asses handed to them in this, though. I love that. I love that shit. Where they're in over their heads. G.I. Joe is in over their heads before they're even G.I. Joe, which makes it even more important to have something like G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And they're sort of building that, hey, the pit got raided, by just Joe Schmoes off the rows,
Yeah, this is very well done because you do, like you said, this is like pre-Cobra, pre-G.I. Joe, and they're just kind of like testing each other a little bit. They're just kind of like,
yeah,
we're gonna do this, and all of a sudden it's like, here's the retaliation, and we're gonna do this, and it's like,
it is really cool to see all these things like in their infancy, like before like the battle lines are strictly drawn. Like, who'd have thought, that like we see Baroness teaming up with Duke before we see her teaming up with Cobra,
and Destro.
For a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm assuming that Major Blood and them are going to kidnap her or something, or she's going to get away with them.
I mean, she seems just like
and meet Destro.
Such an opportunist, like she's not on anyone's side. She's just hanging out with whichever group is going to give her the most benefit at the moment.
Looking out for herself. Baroness has always been looking out for herself. She's just like whoever she thinks is going to make her a little bit more safer, make her like be in charge. That's who she's going to go with.
Like, what can you do for me?
What can you do for me? It's not what I can do for you. What can you do for me? She will do stuff, but she's more of like, I'm cool.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that when she meets Destro, that we get to see like that relationship kind of grow. They've done that before in the G.I. Joe comics, but they have a really unique relationship in a lot of different comics, and it's always interesting to see how that goes down.
Oh yeah, their love-hate relationship that they have.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's their full-on romance where they're like, Gomez and Morticia, that sort of thing. They've run the gamut.
They've run the gambit on their relationship.
So I'm anxious to see where they take that, and you can see that's where it's going. My guess is they get out of this, and then General Hawk's like, we got a bigger problem, and then everybody makes good because there's only a couple issues left.
Yeah, I think this is a 5 or 6 issue. Benny?
Yeah, it's 5 issues. Yeah. All right, cool. Top 3. Let's do it. It's a pretty fun week for comics. Mentions for me. Ice Cream Man hadn't come out since October. Came back swinging just as hard as it's ever hit. I've got it retired. This issue definitely would have been my number 1 issue of the week if it wasn't retired. Phantom Road number 9. Holy fuck. It was nuts, dude.
Yeah, this was insane.
Nuts. It was also a book I've got retired, but this thing that they've been carrying around, it hatches, and it's like this little alien thing, and it makes them live each other's like worst traumas. Like in this scene right here, they're experiencing the other's worst traumas. Like she was raped by a priest at a boarding school, and he left his truck like in gear or something, and it accidentally rolled over his son, like his semi truck. And it was just brutal. Like, Jeff Lemire, why? Stop, dude. Stop. But yeah, it was so good.
Jeff Lemire, on top of like just writing so many books, and they're all being like such a high quality, he also has such an impressive range because he has written some of the most wholesome stuff I have ever read, but also some of the most like cut you to the core brutal things I've ever read.
Yeah, and this is
sometimes in the same book, like Facebook or something.
Sometimes in the same book. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
This is coming from a book that basically during like the 2nd or 3rd issue, they met the person who tells them what's going on. And they're just like, yeah, we don't care. And then just kept on doing their thing.
Yeah. It was so good, though. I mean, yeah, great book. But my real honorable mention this week is Star Trek Defiant number 12. This almost made my number 3. Christopher Cantwell, Andrew Lanzueta. The first page of this is Dr. Beverly Crusher's autopsy report for Lieutenant Commander Dexter Remick. If you don't know who he is, he's this guy who had worms in him, who almost took over the entire Federation. So I'm like, holy shit, it's happening. But most of the issue is like just talking with the crew, a lot of talky talk, but there's hints of Spock's future.
I don't remember the name, but I remember the hell out of this.
Exactly. So that's why I grabbed this picture.
That's the alternate cover for that was the
worm.
Yeah. It was the worm coming out of the mouth.
Yeah.
And I remember this 2-part episode vividly. And when I saw that cover on the previews, I just went like, this is going to be so badass because these
It was
fucking
so fun,
worms
dude.
literally almost took over the Federation.
Yeah. But okay, so really it starts there at that autopsy and finishes here. And this is really just the crew just chatting with each other. Like it does. It talks about Spock talking about the Romulan sun. Like there might be a problem with it. You know? He needs to do more investigation. That happens in that J.J. Abrams movie. It talks about Hugh in ways where they fix Borg who have been assimilated, and that leads right into the Picard show. And it's just, I mean, it's so damn fun to read a Star Trek book that's leaning so hard into Star Trek and what Star Trek actually is.
Well,
And I just love it so much.
Between the main book and this Defiant book, they have respected the lore.
Exactly. And not only respected it, like exploited the shit out of it to everybody.
You're gonna. I mean, if you're gonna exploit it, you're gonna exploit it, and they do a good job of doing it.
Yeah. But my number 3 is a D&D Saturday Morning Adventures #2 by David Booher and George Cambitis. Why? This is turning into
because it's amazing.
It's so good of D&D characters. Okay, we had Drist and Jaraxel from the Icewind Dale trilogy. Now we're getting Boo and Minsk from the Baldur's Gate 2 Shadow of Am novel, but this guy has also appeared in other comics. And
also a very good planeswalker in Magic the Gathering.
He is, yes, he is. But the overall story is actually really good too. Aside from the cameos, Bobby feels sort of like unappreciated with his friends because he's young, you know. But
he's the youngest
going
of
to
all
crew
of
of
them.
pirates who respect him, and it's a great, really fun story. So I really like the D&D book. The same reason I'm liking the fucking Star Trek book. It's leaning into this nostalgia of the brand, and it's doing so just really, really well. So, yeah, D&D Saturday Morning Adventures #2. Taylor, honorable mentions, and number 3.
Okay. First honorable mention for Punisher #4. We kind of set up. I don't. It seemed pretty conclusive. I don't know. I guess
conclusive to me too.
They gave themselves an out if they needed one. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but I hope it's not because I'm enjoying this this new take on the Punisher, and there's definitely more story to tell if they want to, but they also kind of left it where like he wrapped up what he was doing right now, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Very well done.
So that was a lot of fun. Duke was really fun.
Right next to too, man. He is. He's really finding his groove.
Yeah. Last honorable mention for Wolverine #44. I mean, this is just always a really good story. Always good with Benjamin Percy on this character. This particular issue felt like kind of like a interlude.
Exposition.
Yeah,
it's almost a lot of exposition.
Yeah, like they had the big shit storm, you know, in those first couple of issues. And then we had Sabretooth's interlude last time, and now we've got Wolverine's interlude this time. And now he's on his way to go, you know, try to solo the fucking Sabretooth army. Like,
this one panel right here is the one that
this page had my heart in my throat, man.
It's like because it was back in 42, issue number 42, where it's just like, here you go, Logan, here's Laura, and all of a sudden he finally opens it, and this is this.
Yeah,
it was
like,
crazy.
I was waiting for something else, but it's like that. It was like, okay,
it was nuts, dude.
I was kind of like, okay, we're cool, we're fine.
Yeah, great issue though, great issue.
But yeah, my number 3 this week is going to be the Immortal Thor #7.
Yeah, that's my number 3 also.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, this wraps up the one Thor story from the actual mythology that most everyone knows. And it's really cool seeing the like different take on it. I also love young Thor and young Loki just kind of having like the goofy misadventure dynamic.
The brother adventure, yeah.
And that pairs so well with like Al Ewing giving this like high fantasy, like mythological weight to all the dialogue and everything. And even the goofy shit with the fucking cat here is awesome. And then it turns into him fighting a goddamn kaiju, you know?
Yeah, it's so awesome. I mean, okay. It's beautifully written. It's beautifully drawn. But the design work, this page, the design work here is so well done.
Well, this is
such
genuinely
a cool way to tell a story.
It is, and it's brilliant because it takes elements from the actual myth, and ties it in with Marvel's mythos, right?
Yes.
Obviously, the original myth didn't talk about eternity, but here he is, and that makes sense. It's integrated so seamlessly, and that's Lady Death down there in the corner, you know?
Yeah, just so freaking
you're
well
exactly
done.
right, Taylor.
It's
exactly
brilliantly done. It's something that I think only Al Ewing could really pull off, and it's just such
it's
a
Jeff's
fucking
kiss,
amazing
dude.
story.
And then it leans into more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
I love how like now we get to see like so I think he just kind of clued into the thing that like the character in the myth is Utgard Loki, and as far as I can tell, that's a complete coincidence. It is we're not the original myth doesn't draw any connection whatsoever between like regular Loki and that Loki, but we already saw Utgard Thor, and now what if there is an Utgard Odin? What a fucking like calamity would that be?
That would be a
dude.
major calamity.
And there is. That's what Ewing's
that's what they
eventually
teed
going
up
to get
here.
to.
Yeah.
So man, just this
then it's
book.
also interesting seeing all the shit with like the Minotaur and the Enchantress and everything, you know?
Oh yeah, I didn't even grab those. I grabbed on so many pages for this because most of it's because of the art and the design and the way, like you keep saying, Ewing tying a real story into a mythology into a new mythology. He's bringing that in, and it's weird because he's doing so, yes, to sell a book, to write a cool book, but he's also honoring those old stories and like showing like, hey, we can have appreciation for that old shit as well. And watch how much I appreciate it, how much he loves the character. And it's wild. I loved it.
And that's when I said when we talked about the first issue, that's what I love about this book, and he's continuing it on. He takes this like Norse mythological storytelling and he puts it on every single panel of every single page where everything seems just so mythic and grand. And now now we got Odin and Thor, and
who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen now?
And that's the great part about
it's so big and
Ewing
grand, and he does such a great job. And that's just like the Immortal Hulk, he did such a great job with that, and now it's just continuing on with the Immortal franchise with Thor. So
cool. And that was your number 3 as well, Andy?
That was my number 3 also.
Awesome. Well, my number 2 then, Green Arrow, number 9. Joshua Williams, Sean Izaakse. Did you guys read this?
I did. It was a lot of fun.
I loved the shit out of this. Okay, it was really cool action. It was, sort of stemming right out of everything that happened in Beast World. But the reason it made my number 3, number 2, Sanctuary. Yes, the superhero mental health facility created by Tom King and Heroes in Crisis. Everybody fucking hates that. Amanda Waller loves it. It's perfect. Amanda Waller's like, if I have that, I have everything, and my jaw dropped.
Yeah, I mean that is a strong character moment for Amanda Waller. That like, for she's the type of piece of shit that would see that as something she could exploit.
Oh, she's gonna exploit the living hell out of it.
I loved it. It was such a huge surprise. Only one other book had more jaw-dropping moments in it for me this week. And if that book hadn't come out, this would have been my number 1 because my jaw hit the fucking floor and I was like, holy shit. Everything DC's got going on, especially after us talking about Absolute Power, everything coming together, them leaning into their own lore. Yes, let's bring Sanctuary in. Waller would love that. And then what's Ollie going to do? Is he going to go get Sanctuary?
Well, he's going to work with Waller, because he knows that she's full of shit. But
doesn't he also know that she's got a bomb in the brain of like his best friend? So I mean,
she's got a bomb in the brain of Merlin. I don't know if she said she had a bomb in the brain of Roy, but she does have something over Roy. So that's all that really matters here.
Yeah.
Waller, I could see Waller and Ollie working together. Ollie's more of like that kind of like moral gray area type superhero,
right? Dude, Amanda Waller in the last year or two, she's reaching like Abigail Brand level shit, dude. She really is.
Yeah.
She is
awesome,
man.
those are two great characters. They're both like the bad bitch who like does all the terrible things for their own perceived notion of a greater good.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Taylor, number 2.
All right. I was a little conflicted of what my number 2 is going to be this week. And ultimately, I'm going to go with Avengers Twilight number 3.
That is my number 1.
That's my number 1 also.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna flip him then. Let's have a clean sweep. But in that case, my number 2 is Resurrection of Magneto number 2.
Yeah,
that's my number 2.
All right. Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, okay. Me and Andy got to sync up here. Good.
Woohoo! Sync up for me and Taylor finally.
I mean, sort of. I did kind of fudge the results here a little bit, but these were really close for me. I had a hard time deciding which one was going to be which.
I knew this was going to be on your list for sure.
This. Yes, this, this manifestation of Magneto's guilt and his heroism that he has to go through in the afterlife here. Like him having to relive every death he's ever caused, either on purpose or by accident. And he even says, I don't even regret some of these, but I still have to feel the weight of every single one of them. And then the big reveal at the end, and here also are all the lives you saved. And that's even worse for him, because it's never going to be enough. And I love the fucking artwork here at the end with
the art is
showing
so
up.
Perfect in this.
Beautifully done.
Magneto's Atonement,
really good book.
Magneto's Atonement in this issue was the thing that sold me for the being number 2 for me.
What a strong case! What a strong showing from Al Ewing this week. But Magneto is such a complicated character. I think when we were doing our top 5 characters, Magneto ranked pretty high for all of us, I think, and he's got so much bite to him. Oh hey Jeff.
Oh yeah. Hey Jeff. You're talking about a guy who.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
You're talking about a guy who has so many layers to his character. I mean, he survived the Holocaust. He was at odds with his best friend for many years, and this guy has so many layers.
He's so hard to categorize because he's done unforgivable things.
Oh yeah, he's done.
But he's also had you also understand him even as he's doing them because he's had unforgivable things done to him.
Exactly.
He has seen the worst of humanity. He's lived one of the most traumatic lives. There's a lot of traumatic lives among comic book characters, but he's up there,
he's up there.
Definitely.
I mean, he is up there.
Definitely. I mean, even looking at the X-Men build themselves off being tragic characters. Every fucking mutant is a tragic character, but he might be maybe Wolverine, but he might be the most tragic.
Oh, he's the tragic of the tragic.
A lot, dude.
But the way that this issue just kind of the way that they represented that struggle, the eternal contradiction that is Magneto, all the pain and suffering he's caused, but all the good he's managed to do. And is there any way to reconcile those?
Yes. Exactly.
And the poetry there of your life balanced, and who even is the one. They even get into that a little bit. Who are you to judge me anyway? You know what I mean? In that, and you have no idea what Toad did for me and what I did for Toad, and you know what I mean. They pull these shitty characters out. Toad shouldn't mean anything, but to Magneto, he's no, that dude means
Toad means
every
a lot
fucking
Magneto.
thing.
Toad was there with Magneto at the beginning. He was in the original lineup of the Brotherhood.
Yeah,
that's the point, because Magneto is sympathetic for everybody who sided with him over Professor Xavier.
Yes,
that's where you're getting the atonement of Magneto,
fiercely loyal to his people.
Yeah,
and he let him down.
That's the atonement. The atonement part is you did all these shitty ass things, but hey, look on the other side. Look at all the people you saved.
Yeah, but it doesn't give us any easy answers, right? Does that redeem him?
That's the point.
Where does the balance lie for a character like Magneto? And we don't really get an answer here, but maybe it is impossible to get that answer.
Oh, it's hard to get an answer for Magneto because, like I said, he's suffered the shittiest of shits ever for someone growing up, and now he's just gone through this whole entire rephrasing of himself where he's just who am I, what am I, and now he's getting rebirthed after atoning for his sins and getting all this other stuff. Maybe we'll get a new Magneto out of it.
They're calling it the resurrection of Magneto. That's got to be more than Magneto just coming back from the dead.
And this is the same Magneto that still has not saw what happened yet. This is the Magneto who's still.
Well, I think he kind of gets an idea of it.
He gets an idea that shit has gone sideways. Yeah, and God, what did you fucking do, Storm?
This is still the Magneto who said Charles was right. He knows something's gone sideways. He hasn't had everything explained to him about the Hellfire Gala. So once that gets explained to him, maybe we'll see a change. We don't know. We'll get there.
I'm hoping it's a change more to no, he was wrong. I was wrong to trust him. I want to see that Magneto back, because they are making all of these like sort of angles, points about mentioning things that happened when he was full on evil.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and I don't know. He definitely hasn't been nice to humans during the Krakoan age. He's just sort of.
No, he has not. He's been.
He's just sort of been like,
I mean, that's
okay,
how he
Charles,
started
we'll
the
do it your
Krakoan
way.
age. You know, it's like you have new gods now.
Yeah.
You know, he even during his quote unquote good guy phase here, his very first thing he did in the very first issue was lord over, we have ascended and we're leaving you all behind us, you know?
Yeah, dude.
The only time you could ever say Magneto was actually a good guy was during the Onslaught initiatives. So
yeah. I mean, like back when Claremont was writing the character, Claremont makes everybody a good guy eventually.
Exactly.
But yeah,
exactly.
Back when he changed his name to Jacob and lost his powers, that's the only time he was a good guy.
I mean, that being said, I'm just like, you know, if it weren't for Claremont, like half the characters we consider like the most like amazing X-Men wouldn't really be what they are today. Magneto especially.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to our number ones. Before that, I did want to say that World Tree, this is issue 8. This really backs up the fact. I thought this was going to be on your list for sure, Andy.
This is my honorable mention.
This really backs up the fact that James Tynion needs to do the thing that he's doing with Tiny Onion Studios, because this issue was like an episode of TV. It really was.
So
it really was.
I've said this before. World Tree is definitely a book where words matter. Every single word that is said matters, and it doesn't feel out of place in this book, because this book has a grand scheme of this, like, okay, the internet, the dark internet, the internet and with the internet is killing people. It's got onions, it's got layers, it's got ogres,
awesome.
it's got everything you want in it, and it matters.
Yeah. All right, Avengers Twilight, number 3, Chip Zdarsky, Dan Nikita. Holy shit. Captain America goes all breakout, goes and invades the raft. I loved this scene where they got the armor here.
We got ourselves an Easter egg hunt, you know, on this page here. I mean, it's mostly Spider-Man villains, but it's still fun. Like, I'm noticing things. I'm noticing things I didn't notice the first time. Like, I didn't notice the Goblin Glider the first time I looked at this page.
And that's Rhino up here. This little Rhino thing. Got Doc Ock,
Goblin Glider, Doc Ock,
Vulture.
Vulture,
Venom,
Doc Ock, Venom, the symbiote.
I don't know who this is here just to the left of Venom, but it looks like a fat Spider-Man, but I'm trying to think. Maybe this I don't know what that is. But the new Bullseye becomes the new Hawkeye.
Yes,
Cap gets his shield back. That was awesome. Marvel saves the fucking day, you know.
Oh yeah, there were all sorts of like action movie moments in here, like Kamala rising out of the ocean, that fucking piece of shit James just like smashing the damn raft in to kill everyone.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Kamala just being a giant kaiju rising out of the ocean was amazing.
It's so awesome.
Just like I'm just like, I got it.
And the dialogue too, I got you all. That is such like a well-tuned phrase, you know, because she's not just saving the people in the ocean, but she's here for the Avengers, you know. Oh, and then boy,
and they're saving the bad guys too. They're saving like the guards. Yeah, it was
like that really kind of creates this great juxtaposition. Like the quote unquote bad guys are like saving everyone, you know,
exactly
from like the perspective of the world, I guess. But like, the Avengers show up and they're like, you know, they are here to keep everyone alive, even if they are the like thugs of the enemy. And then my boy shows up at the end of the issue.
God. I cannot wait for the next issue. Are you kidding me?
There.
Yeah, this is a perfect comic book. Action-packed, leaned into exactly what the book is supposed to be. Gave us a whole lot more about the villain. You know what I mean? At least one of them. Gave us a whole lot more about the villain.
Yeah, we're getting the usual, like, you know, fascist bullshit. Like, people are fed and safe and happy.
Exactly.
Isn't that worth, like, all the repression and all the people's lives?
Not. It's not worth the oppression.
Yeah, the trains are running on time. Yeah, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But, man, so fun. The first 2 issues of this, they were great. You know?
Yeah.
I loved it. But this was a fucking action comic. And it still did its job. It told a good story. It introduced the characters. It gave you a lot of insight on the characters, but it didn't lose anything about what Avengers Twilight is supposed to be. You still see that we're living in this fascist thing. This is like a perfect comic book issue from Chip Zdarsky. There's no way this wasn't going to be my number one.
It's something that I thought was a really good touch. Like, in last issue, Cap tried to rally the people, and they didn't, they didn't go for it. They didn't they're all like, oh no, it sounds tough.
Like, well, you're Captain America.
But in this issue,
you're not the Avengers.
Yeah, but in this issue though, we see that he is still having an effect. Him fighting the fight does matter because he does flip Bullseye.
Yeah, he
makes
does
her Hawkeye.
Well, the reason he flips Bullseye though is because she eavesdrops on the bad guy monologuing. Yes. Never monologue. Never monologue, villains.
Here's your lesson for today, everybody who's watching. Never monologue. Never evil guy monologue.
But it's also it's that paired with the fact that like Cap is that guy, Yes, he walks the walk, he talks the talk, he walks his talk, I guess is a better way to say that. But like it's so great seeing all the Avengers like coming together. They got Tony's head in there somewhere. Thor's back. They got a new Hawkeye. I am just jazzed as hell for the team being back.
Me too, dude. That's the best word for it. I am just so jazzed to read the next issue. I was like, I cannot wait.
This last panel on the
top of my stack next month. I cannot wait.
This last panel you got up there is I love it. It's like I prayed, and it's like it's been a wolf's age, Captain.
Yeah. Oh, I love that shit. Yeah, so damn good, dude.
Just amazing. Chip Zdarsky does an excellent job of just holding up this mirror and just going, "Hey, everybody, check this out."
Yeah,
he's done it before.
Like the creative team is definitely flexing their muscles here because, Chip Zdarsky is doing a hell of a job writing this, and Daniel Acuna, like all of the action panels you just showed.
Oh yeah, he does an amazing job with the artwork on this.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's no way it was not going to be a number one.
Yeah, so this is Eisner-worthy shit so far, dude. I mean, this is some of the best shit I think Chip Zdarsky has ever written.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really good, dude.
This is the best iteration of Dark Knight Returns that I've seen in a really long time.
Yeah, right. Awesome. Well, that's us, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, check out what the bullies are doing. Leroy and Eli hanging out, talking pop culture. I think it's going to be a Dune 2 night. I don't know if they've seen it. I do know they're going to talk about Aquaman because I think both of them skipped it in the damn theater. But check them out. The bullies always talking that mad shit, including comics, but a whole bunch of other stuff too. If you want links to everything they got and everything we got going on, all the videos, audios, socials, outrightgeekery.com. All the links, the merch, the fun, including the group, No Bullying. Go over to the group, Facebook, search Outright Geekery, join the group. Andy's just killing over there. 2-year anniversary. Coming up in August, dominating that page.
Wait, it's coming up in August, and we're talking about it now. Get the fuck out of
here! We're talking about summer blockbuster events from Marvel and DC.
August is even further away than that. At least Free Comic Book Day is in like.
I need to watch before I get that far.
At least Free Comic Book Day is like 2 months from now. August is a damn long time out still.
I can hype my own shit how I feel like it, Taylor.
Exactly. You do it, Andy.
You're celebrating a fucking half birthday here. Grow the fuck up.
I don't care.
No, it's awesome, though. Really I
am shameless on plugging my own shit.
You should be fucking shameless.
You should be, but we are not coming up on the 2-year anniversary. That's
it's happening.
A while yet.
It's happening, though.
I'm sure it is, but talk about it in like fucking July or something, not in goddamn March.
We'll definitely talk about it in July, too.
Yes, it's appropriate to do so then.
We're talking about stuff we're not going to be able to read until August right now, so get over it.
Yeah. If you like what we did tonight, come back tomorrow. We'll talk about all the new books. Dude, we get Ultimate X-Men this week. There are a lot of cool books dropping this week.
Get that sweet
come back
Peach
tomorrow.
Momoko art.
Yeah, dude. Monday about 7:15, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later, depending on how things go. But again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. But most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
Hell yeah.
We are going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Man, we went